Hi everybody, Elisa here with another Vera Bradley bag of the day. Trying to knock out a couple of videos while I have a little downtime between my work jobs. um, and so I thought I would, I know I said in the last video that I just made, which I hope I'll get them all loaded up pretty quickly. And in the right order, so that when I talk about one, I'm in the right order. I did mention that I know the peanut stuff is coming out and everyone's got peanuts on the brain, but it is hot on the heels of a recent Disney release, and so I thought I would show what I got in that stuff. You know, this Disney pattern has Pluto in it. And I feel like when that happens, when they release a Disney pattern and it's got Pluto in it, I just sort of like go out of my mind a little bit. And I think it's related to my dog Duke, losing my dog Duke. I've had 5 dogs. I have 3 now, but total I've had 5 dogs and 4 birds. So I love birds also, but I won't ever probably get another bird. I have 3 dogs now, one who lives with me. She probably can't. There she is. There she is. And the two that I can't have living with me right now, which makes me very sad. But I have had 5 total. And out of all of them, Duke was just the love of my life, really. And he was my second dog. So there's always a special place for the first dog, and Lucy, my first dog, she'll always have a special place for me. And she was a hard sell at the shelter. She had a lot of behavior issues, and I was a good match for her because I had experience handling dogs like her. And I didn't have any children, and she couldn't really be around children. She bit people. She had a bite. She had an aggression problem. And so we were a good fit. She wasn't getting a lot of attention in the shelter. And so it was a very satisfying thing for me to be able to help her like that, have a good life, because she was limited. She was limited in what kind of a home situation she could go into. And I thought after she passed away that I was kind of like done. She lived to be a good ripe old age, but the end of her life, she had a lot of challenging health issues. And so for me, it was like sort of like watching my child die for over a year, slowly, and caring for her. And so once she passed away, I felt like, okay, well, I'm going to get my next dog. And I've already done my heartbreak, right, with dogs. That's what I thought. I thought, well, now I'm good, and I'll just go on and I'll have a nice experience, a happy experience with the dog. And I got Duke, and he and I, just something happened. We just like fell in love with each other. And I think people who don't have dogs or who aren't dog people or haven't had that experience with a dog don't really know what I'm talking about. But if you have had that experience, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was intense and like almost immediate. He literally tried to sit in my lap when I was driving him home on the day I took him home from the shelter. And he was 90 pounds. But we just fell in love with each other. And then he died prematurely. And I was traumatized. Heartbroken. And he had been helping me heal from Lucy. So there was that. But something independent of that also happened, where we just fell in love with each other. And so I only had him for a very short time, and I felt like, wow, I can't believe this is happening again. I thought I had done all my painful dog stuff. I felt like I had I had gotten enough credit for that. So I think because, you know, like when Duke passed away, then it was right around that time, I think they had released a pattern with Pluto. I don't know if it was Mickey's Colorful Garden. It's a pattern I didn't get initially, but then when I sort of became obsessed with it because of Pluto, and I seem to associate that with Duke, and then they released their Best in Show stuff, and I felt like I needed all the stuff with dogs because of Duke, because something was going on emotionally with me and the loss of Duke. And then they came out with Sweet Treats, Mickey's Sweet Treats, and that one I got right away because that had Pluto, and I think it has Goofy in it too. I don't care about Goofy. Anyway, and so this latest release has Pluto in it again, and Figaro, which is sweet. But you know, as soon as I saw that Pluto was in it, I was like, okay, well, just, you know, you can take all my money. You're going to be taking all my money. Because something just happens to me where I associate it with Duke. And it's also part of why I was very sad when they disbanded the custom section of their website, because you used to be able to do custom embroidery in the inside of the Vera totes, and I took full advantage of that, and I did stuff, you know, in honor of Duke in almost all of my bags, including a drawing that I had done. They stitched a hand drawing. I had a sketch I had made of Duke, and I have that embroidered in several of my custom Vera totes. So I was so bummed when they stopped doing that. For that reason, I immediately felt like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do anything with Duke anymore. And it was kind of traumatic. Anyway, although once they had removed the trim option, I was kind of souring on the custom stuff anyway, but whatever. Anyway, I digress, as usual. Always. Okay, so I did get some stuff here, and I knew when I was looking at the pictures of the pattern online that pattern placement was going to be a concern for me, and so I wasn't going to mess around ordering a gazillion totes or whatever cord organizers. I called the Disney store, and I don't remember the name of the woman who helped me, and she was really lovely. And I told her I was interested in certain parts of the pattern, and she said which ones, and I told her, and she said I'll go look, and she did. She looked. I didn't have her send me pictures, although I have had sales associates volunteer to text me photos so I can look at things and choose, and I have taken advantage of that when they've offered to do that. I don't usually ask to see the pictures. I tend to try to trust them because they're already going out of their way for me. But I think that's also a nice service that they're willing to do that. It's very nice. Anyway, she helped me, and I think she did real good job. And then I thought, well, let me just also place an order of one each of like the critical items on the website and see what I get. And I compare and pick and choose. Everything that I ordered sight unseen from the website is going right back. Terrible pattern placement. So I'm so glad I called the Disney store like first thing on the release day of the pattern. So I did get the Vera tote, the large Vera tote, and I have some tags here, so just bear with me here. Mickey Mouse, Piccadilly, Paisley. Just sorry, again, just my eyes are going, but I'm seeing here the translation, the French translation, which always just cracks me up. Piccadilly, Paisley. And so for people who may not be familiar, Piccadilly Plum is a vintage Vera pattern. I'm sure you can find it on the website in their archive, which I was just mentioning in my other video. I noticed they've recently, I don't know how recently this change happened, but they have changed how the pattern swatches are organized in the archive on the website. And so it used to be by year and season, and now it's alphabetical by pattern name. So Piccadilly Plum is, I'm sure it's in there. And that's what's going on in the background here. All these paisleys and these other sort of flower shapes are from Piccadilly Plum. Here they're grayed out. It's a great kind of a gray tone background. But that's what that's harking back to. So that's nice if you're someone who's into all the vintage stuff. I know some people, when this pattern came out, were sensitive to the fact that the background was gray, this kind of monochromatic look, but I don't mind that. I feel like, first of all, it lets the characters really jump out, especially Pluto, which is key for me. But also, I feel like it almost is sort of a nod to the vintage Mickey animation, like back in the day, very, very early. You know, the cartoons were black and white, I'm pretty sure. So I have memories of seeing Mickey in black and white, animated black and white. So it kind of makes me think of that sort of a vintage nod, and I like that. I don't mind that at all. And I'm not a Paisley person. For me, the background here is like a non-issue. Like I couldn't care less about the background, really. I do wish they would go back to patterns where they don't just plunk the characters down on top of a pattern, which is what they're doing here. But you know, what are you gonna do? They have worked in some Mickey heads into the pattern, and it's always nice when they do that. You know, like they're in the flowers, and the flower heads here too. So if you look for them, which is always fun, to look for those little elements that they're in there. Reminds me of those the Nina cartoons that used to be in the Arts and Leisure section. Al Hirschfeld, his drawings where he would work in the Arts and Leisure section of the New York Times back in the day. He would do a cartoon every Sunday, and would always take up the full top, you know, like half of the section. Big drawing, and he would work his wife's name, Nina, into the drawing, and you would have to, and then there would be a little thing down to the bottom, like a Nina and a number, and that would be how many Ninas were hidden in the drawing, and you would have to find the Ninas. You could find the Ninas. And he would work the letters into his line work. It was nice. People aren't familiar with that. You should maybe Google it. I wonder if you could find his stuff online now. Anyway, so it's kind of like that. It's kind of a fun thing, kind of try to find the Disney elements, the Mickey heads or whatever. So when I called, and this is the regular size Vera, so the bigger one, all the regular features, hidden slip pocket up top, the zipper and slip pocket, and the 6 interior slip pockets. 12-inch handle drop, same thing. Huge bag just for people, since I am prepared. 18 east-west, and north-south about 14. So big bag. And so when I called, I said, I'm really interested in this figure of Pluto in a play bow with Figaro here on his back with the yarn, like he's playing with the yarn up in the air, you know. And could I get that if somewhere on the front, ideally on the front pocket, but if not, somewhere else on the front, you know, that's good. And she said, she came back, she said, I couldn't find one with him on the pocket, but he's everywhere else really nicely placed. And so I just trusted her. I didn't ask to see it. And she did excellent. I mean, this is excellent. I love that he's here and he's there. And then you get the other, figures of him. The balance is great in this. Plus, it's just, it's nice. You have Minnie and Mickey there. I mean, I don't really care about Minnie and Mickey, honestly. It's all about Pluto for me. All about the animals for me. But it's great. I mean, I think she did an excellent job. This little stacky here is the same figure, but I don't care because they're sort of staggered. It's okay. And I like the fact that that's that little bit of color that's breaking up all the black and white is well balanced. So I know I was just bitching and moaning in my last video about repeats, pattern repeats, stacking. So yeah, it's. I also like this pattern, the elements of the dog, the food dishes. When there's one for Pluto there, and somewhere there's one there. I think that's Figaro's down there. So I think it's very cute. What I also do like about it is that these solid areas of color with the ears, and also here the body of Figaro. That's not black. It's like a very deep purple. And so that's nice because I don't know if it'll come out well here. You know, my lighting, I'm not sure it'll come out. But it sort of makes it softer. That black would be a little harsh, a little severe. So I was pleased with it. Very pleased with the Pluto. Yeah. So yeah, and the back gets sort of more of an overall feel. There's another figure, him with the flower in his mouth, and that Mickey head. You can see all the stuff that's going on in the background with these paisleys and these sort of flower shapes. There's another, I don't know if it's this pattern. I don't know if maybe on my cord organizer. It's a nice little pairing of Mickey giving Minnie a flower. These flowers here are kind of interesting. This almost looks like, the whole thing almost looks like a paw print. But there's a Mickey head in there, and there, and there. So it's nice that they do that. I'm also a knitter, and so, you know, anything with these balls of yarn was kind of going to speak to me. It's like, ooh, yarn. And interesting too, I mean, this is, so here, this grouping of yarn, I mean, I'm not sure that they're all like this, but that's sort of a primary color scheme, you know, red, yellow, blue. Although the colors cut with a different, it's mixed. You know, it's not like what the term I would say was like straight out of the tube. It's not like when you, it doesn't have a very raw, these colors are not raw like when you just squeeze paint straight from a tube and you haven't cut it with any other pigment, you haven't any other color, you haven't mixed it yet. These are mixed so that they're not quite so raw looking, but that is primary. I mean, I feel like the whole thing kind of is a primary color scheme of red, yellow, and blue on this gray tone, primarily. So I got that, and then I did get the small Vera because this was a pattern I really was interested in. And this one I think is Family Fun. Yeah, Mickey Mouse Family Fun. The French. Plaisir en famille, Mickey Mouse. Anyway, so this one I really did want because it didn't have the paisleys mucking up everything. And what I wanted immediately when I saw it was this one, this pairing of Mickey giving Pluto a big bear hug. That was important to me, again, because it sort of encompasses me and Duke and how I felt about him and how he was very physical with me. And I kind of miss that. You know, I'm with a tiny dog, and I do pick up my tiny dog and stuff, but it's not the same as interacting with a large breed dog. I mean, it's just not. And I am a big dog person, so I saw that and I was like, well, I have to have that. So I also ordered on the phone, and she helped me with pattern placement. I said I wanted him on the front pocket. This is what she found, and so she said I have a tote with him on the front pocket. I said great. I didn't ask anything else. But what happens, and I noticed they're doing this a lot with patterns now. They do it with Peanuts patterns, and so stuff is right. Some stuff is right side up, and some stuff is upside down. And initially that I wasn't sensitive to that. It didn't bother me because it kind of made it feel like, okay, well then pattern placement is kind of, you know, not a challenge, because something will always look good. And for the most part that's true, but I am very aware that there seems to be a lot of, except for this, there seems to be a lot of upside down stuff, and it's kind of bugging me because it just looks like the fabric's upside down. I mean, look, this is, you know, there's a lot of upside down stuff. So all of these upside down. So I'm kind of bummed about that, but she did what I asked, and so I'm pleased with it. I'm keeping it. There's without the pocket sort of interrupting stuff, but like, you know, that's not a great, sometimes the straps create an awkward overlap with the pattern. That's always an issue, and something that I do tend to try to pay attention to when I'm picking something out in person. You know, sort of slow down and look at how the straps are affecting the pattern. Not great here, but she did what I asked, and so I'm not disappointed. The background does have a little bit of a delicate white flower in there dropping out. Again, it is a gray background, but I don't have a problem with it. And I feel like this might coordinate well if you wanted to carry this with some sweet treats items, because that has a gray, kind of very pale lavender, white kind of color scheme there. I do like that pattern a lot. It's in storage, unfortunately. I should go try to get that out of storage. Anyway, I ordered this. I don't remember exactly what this is called. This is steel tumbler. It's the smaller one. So I do have a larger one here, so you can see the size difference. This, they've sort of adjusted this recently. This used to be the large, where they would do the large tumbler, and I love this thing because it's very, I mean, it works. Keeps my stuff cold or hot, even overnight. I mean, it's great. I like the rubber bottom too. But I feel like they've made it a little bit more angular here where it narrows. They've also made it a little bit smaller, and they've jacked up the price a little bit, I noticed. So that kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth when they're giving you less for more. This one I got because I was feeling like I was under the weather, and I wanted something for tea that I could leave by my bed overnight and not worry about knocking it over and spilling it. And this works perfectly for that, and kept the tea hot all night, like, well, hot, not blazing hot, but you know, warm throughout the night when I wanted to sip it for my throat. Worked really good. Very pleased with this, and I would like to get another one. I don't know if I'll get the peanuts one or what. We'll see. Maybe the what's that one? Sea Air Floral. I like that one. Okay, so then I got, continuing with the obsession, a cord organizer. Again, this is one she picked out for me from over the phone order, because the one that I ordered in the mail was crap. So here again, I said I want the play bow. Oh, I didn't show the linings in any of these. So the linings are, God, I can't remember the name of this one. I think it's Playful Figaro is the name of this pattern. There are some items in this pattern that I'll show. Very cute. Just Figaro and his yarn. Very nice. And so that's the lining here. I do think it's the lining in this Family Fun one as well. Yep. And in the cord organizer as well. And so, you know, it's nice also, again, yarn balls, but also Mickey heads in the lining, sorry. Again, same features as a typical cord organizer. You can see inside a couple of mesh pockets, a zipper pocket, elastics, things to tuck your tech in, you know, snap, tab, whatever. Gussets. The gussets aren't always the lining fabric. Sometimes they're solid, I feel like, in color, but that's nice that they're the fabric here. Anyway, so I wanted Pluto and the play bow with Figaro and the yarn ball, and she did that for me. And then on this side also, and a good Pluto, but that's the grouping of I was talking about with Mickey and giving Minnie the flower. You can sort of see in the ears there, that's not black, that's a deep purple. It's very nice that they did that, especially since there is a very monochromatic feel to this pattern, with the background being all, you know, gray tones. So it kind of works with that, but gives you a little bit of color without jumping out as color in a way. So it's nice. Again, this is the Piccadilly one. Mickey Mouse, Piccadilly, Paisley, cord organizer. Then I got Zip ID. Again, I had her look for me. Again, I am sticking with sticking with my hugging Mickey and Pluto. I did order one of these. I can't remember what I got on it, but it was not fantastic, and it wasn't even, you know, sometimes you'll keep more than one because you like more than one part of the pattern. It wasn't even, I didn't even feel motivated to keep it. It wasn't anything interesting. I don't remember now. It's in my return piles. And Figaro through the window. And the yarn and the Mickey heads. These little flowers. Pluto bowl food dish there. Right here you can sort of see that this is purple. So I ordered the phone order. That was phone order. And everything else in here now I think was stuff. This is all stuff I ordered on the website because I knew it wasn't going to be a big issue. Pattern placement was a non-issue. Convertible wristlet. I'm always saying I like this thing. Here the strap is configured as a loop, but you can unclip it on one end and fasten it here, which is how I tend to use it. And I'll use this. I like the convertible wristlet. And I mean, I couldn't believe my luck that they decided. I mean, I feel like with the peanut stuff that's out now, I don't understand a lot of their decisions. And the fact that they only have one zip ID with an embroidered character on it, and it's Schroeder, to me is just like, who dropped the ball, like majorly. That there's only one zip ID, and that's the character that they chose to feature, Schroeder. With Woodstock, okay, but so I'm not getting that. But you know, so I was pleased that the you know, my favorite like character was chosen as embroidery for this. Shocking. That never happens. And so the back is just plain gray. What are they calling this? Mickey Mouse, Piccadilly, Paisley. Typical configuration there with a couple of card slots, and that's it. Same lining. That happy, I think it's Playful Figaro or Happy Figaro. I don't know. I'll get to it. I'm getting there. Yeah. So here's that. Let's see what this is really called. So instead of me just making stuff up. Playful Figaro. Or Figaro en jouet. So I'm never not going to be amused by that. I'm never going to not make myself crack up. I'm mangling the French language. So again, you know, there's the double zip ID, the two sections. Lining is the same pattern as the exterior pattern here. I love this with the balls of yarn. And he's very cute. This is very cute. Oh, you can see my Mickey heads there. So again, you know, as I've said just in the previous video even, you know, and a couple other videos, this strap is dedicated. You can't remove it. People have been saying they've been cutting it off. I'm not ever going to cut this off. I like having this strap because I don't use these in only one way. And sometimes when I use them in a bag, even with the clip-and zips too that have the loop, it's handy when I'm fishing around in my bag and grabbing for something. I feel for that loop. It's easy for me to pull out the thing, you know, pull out the pouch with the loop. So I like that. I like the versatility of it. I don't always have to use it. It doesn't bother me hanging there. So I like this item a lot. like I was saying, I'll put it on a lanyard and hang it around my neck. I use it in a lot of different ways, or it's a small wallet in a smaller bag when I'm downsizing. So, and then I do get the lanyard because of that, because I like to do that. I have it clipped onto something else here, but anyway, this is again that same Figaro. I don't feel like I got a good strip of fabric here. It's like I got all negative space. And then on the inside, this is a breakaway lanyard. On the inside, I got a little bit of Figaro there, but yeah, whatever. The reason why I got it was because, you know, I'm not matchy with my Vera. However, oddly, I do like my lanyards and my zip IDs or my pouches or whatever that I'm using with the lanyard to match. If I don't, sometimes I can't make it work, and I do mix and match, but if I can match, I like to match. So that's some kind of odd, you know, compulsive quirk for me. Anyway, but really the reason I ordered this was because of the you know, the loop, the ring that does open. You know, it does open. That looks like the Mickey head. I wanted that. I always want that. I have a couple of them now. So I'm using this on on something else now that I can show, obviously. Get this back on here. Can't get it on. Okay. So this was something I also decided to try, not an item I had ever used before, but wanted to try it because, again, I'm going out a lot with my dad to the diner, and he wants me to bring Pixie, and he has his walker, and I just feel like I need my hands free. So I don't want a bag, and you know, I'm not, in the summer, I'm not wearing a heavy jacket or a jacket with pockets, so normally I would shove all this stuff in my pockets, but can't do that in the summer. So I was you know, trying to see what kinds of things I could get to hang from my around my neck. And so I decided to give this a shot, and because I don't have to, it has a space for the phone, you know, I don't have to worry about trying to cram my phone into my pocket or something. And this is the only kind of thing, this or the Carson cell phone crossbody is the only kind of thing that my phone will fit on, hanging from my neck. And it does get heavy that way, but so be it. And so I did cut the tag off of this. And this was called, let's see, I don't know if I have the tag here. Oh yeah, the large smartphone wristlet. Very long French translation for that. I won't torture anyone anymore with my butchering. Again, Pluto, and so I said, okay, well, I can get on board with the Pluto embroidery and Figaro. My phone does fit in there nicely. There's a snap tab. There's a zipper thing over here, gusseted on one side. And also what I like about this is that it unzips and opens flat, and sort of a sucker for anything that, like a zip around or a wallet that has a section that opens flat for some reason. I don't know if it's, I guess it makes me feel like I could cram more stuff in there if I needed to, atypically. Like if it didn't have this area for the phone, I could put my phone in here easily and zip it up, or I could put my keys in here and zip them up. And so, you know, that's very appealing to me. This has got a lot of card slots here. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 on the other side, plus the ID window here, which you access this way, not from the top. I did have trouble trying to slip my ID in there, and so I sort of gave up. I mean, I guess I could have really crammed it in there, but it just seemed like very tight. I mean, I guess that's good once you get your ID in there. It's not going to fly out. But I probably wouldn't. I gave up, and I put my ID behind here, you know, like it was one of my credit cards. And then it's got, you know, these other wider, you know, slip areas where you could stick bills and other things, receipts and coupons and whatever. Sometimes I cram poop bags in there. So that's my world. Dog hair and poop baggies. Oh, sorry, I'm getting dinged. So, you know, fits in there fine. So I got that, and I'm pretty sure this is just called Mickey's Piccadilly Paisley as well. Yep, got that. I'm getting there. I'm almost down to the bottom, the wire. Then I got this, one of those earbud carry case things. This is gonna be too small for me to read without my glasses, I think. Oh, bag charm, I can read it. Yay, I can read it without my glasses. Woohoo! Okay, yeah. Bag charm for AirPods. Okay. AirPods? Yeah. I'm pretty sure that says pods and not buds. I don't have my glasses. So I've been getting into these because I can fit poop bags in here, and I can also fit my keys in here. Not together, but I can fit my keys in here, which sometimes I want. I don't have something with pockets on me. I'm walking the dog or I'm with my dad. This is great for that. I don't want to carry a bag. So I clip it onto a lanyard. It's got this sort of carabiner kind of, and it feels like metal, but I'm not sure if it's metal or like a real heavy duty plastic. But it feels sturdy. I'm always saying, when I've shown these a few times now, it's sturdy. Feels sturdy. The carabiner has this pushes open rather than unscrewing like a real carabiner. And it zips around with this elastic in there. Again, the Playful Figaro. As I ordered this from the website, so I really love this particular, you know, one of Figaro with his drawing of Figaro with his yarn up above him. He's on his back. I like that one. So, very pleased. Again, the Mickey heads worked into the background, floating like little balloons almost. Okay. Oops. My goodness. And one last zip ID Figaro, because I'm all about critters. They don't have to be dogs. As long as they're not like spiders or scarabs or ants. People watch my videos from back in the day. They'll know about my beef with the ants. And again, same lining. The Paisley shape is also embroidered, not just the cat. Yeah, I do like this gray. I mean, I don't know if some people feel the gray is kind of blah, but I like the gray. I feel like it's it's a good gray, it's a nice gray, and it's elegant. Gray can be a very elegant color. And then I got this, what is this, lunch tote thing? Yeah, lunch tote. Just because I was, having my insane emotional reaction. I have another one of these. I think it's in that Sage Garden or whatever that, Sunlit Garden Sage or whatever that pattern is. And I was thinking about trying to, it's an experiment, maybe cutting out this plastic insulated lining thing to just use it as a handbag, but I haven't done that because I can tell, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to see the back, like the unfinished back of the quilting fabric, and so I don't know how it's going to look. It's going to look kind of unfinished, I think, back in there then, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but again, it's like I wanted this, and so I figured, well, I'm bound to get it in a decent place on this kind of an item. So I haven't used this, but I'm keeping it. So anyway, I could see if you're going on a car ride or something, putting water bottles in there, keep them cool. Be handy for that. And I don't go anywhere where I have to bring my lunch with me because I work from home. So anyway, so that was it. My Mickey Mouse Piccadilly Paisley and related patterns video, all my Pluto emotional buying. And so thank you for indulging me. Let me share all my nostalgia about Duke and dog items with you. I hope people found it helpful to get a look at them. I think it's a lovely pattern. Anyway, we'll see how motivated I get if I do any more videos today, but thanks so much for watching, and hopefully see you next time on Vera Bradley Bag of the Day.